Ortruum 8/8 is a Necromundan Psyhound that serves as a bounty hunter for Lord Helmore and his favoured servants. Like all of the Psykers created from the Psychonarium breeding program, Ortruum 8/8 is heavily mutated and is unable to stand or even feed itself and is of interminable gender. These mutations have forced its masters to augment Ortruum 8/8's body with suspensor implants to facilitate movement, inducer rigs to keep its organs functioning, and a neural crown to keep it docile. However, despite its appearance, Ortruum 8/8 is a potent yet horrifying psychic weapon to be unleashed upon the enemies of Lord Helmore. Hello, and welcome back to Wellywood Wargaming. My name is Damon, and this is the huge series where I give you bite-sized videos on every Dramatis Personae and hired gun in the whole game of Necromunda. Before I get started though, please do like, share, subscribe. Check out the Patreon and comment down below to get those algorithms popping off for me. Thank you very much. So let's get into it with Ortruum 8/8. A cool little bit of lore there. We don't know a huge amount about the real origins of Ortruum 8/8, but I can tell you he is definitely a Marmitey one when it comes to the aesthetic of the model. So this is a Forge World model. We can get it from Forge World now. It came out originally, quite early on in the releases for Necromunda, and yeah, like I said, a complete Marmitey one, really. So you will either love it or you will absolutely hate it. I don't think I've met a single person who is anywhere in between. I think I'm in the camp of loving it, if I'm honest. I can see why people don't like it. I think originally when it came out, people accused the sculpt of being somewhat lazy. I don't think it's lazy. I think it's just pure Blanchitsu, pure grimdark in its absolute fullest. Fantastic looking model, if you ask me. Yes, it looks like a flying chicken nugget, or if you want to be really rude, a giant ballsack with arms. But what's not cool about that, and what's not grimdark about that? So we have a flying, fat-bodied, sort of indescribable lump of flesh with cyber arms hanging limply from the front. Little tiny sort of grav wings, and of course on a flight stand as well, because this guy does fly in the game. We've got a huge sort of headdress, a little sort of cheruby face with the lips all sewn up. It is absolutely ghastly, something out of your worst nightmares, really. And I must say, as a sort of Blanchitsu and grimdark enthusiast, this one I really do like. So I might have to get my hands on a copy of this miniature at some point just to do my own version of it. I think the paint job, If I look at the paint job on the Forge World website, it is pretty good, but there looks to be some unfinished elements to it, which is kind of odd. Like the bit around the neck and on the bit that attaches the wing don't look like they're actually finished. They look like they're just primed. Correct me if I'm wrong, but bit strange. But you could probably do a better paint job with this and make it even more gruesome and disgusting. Let's look at how he is in the game though. This guy's really, really interesting and probably one of the most exciting bounty hunters to talk about so far, just because he's so different from everyone else. So far, all of the Psykers that I've covered have been pretty underwhelming or just not very good, apart from maybe the Hermophage Magos that we did recently. Ortruum 8/8 though is definitely up there as one of the strongest, if not the strongest, Psykers in the game of Necromunda. But let's look at the stats first. Firstly, he is 250 credits, which is not too much. It's pretty reasonable. But of course, you could use him as an outcast leader as well. And I have done so with a sort of practice gang that I made with this guy as the leader. He has a movement of 4, a weapon skill and ballistic skill of 5+. But of course, this guy's a Psyker. He's not going to be doing any fighting or shooting anytime soon. We've also got a strength and toughness of 3, which is average, 2 wounds, initiative 4 up, 1 attack, and the mental stats are pretty good actually. We've got a leadership of 6+, a cool of 7+, a willpower and intelligence of 5+ as well. So you need that willpower for pulling off these psychic abilities. For skills, Ortruum 8/8 comes with the fearsome skill built in, which is pretty cool. It just means that you have to take a willpower check to fight him. And also, he comes with 3 weird powers, 1 telekinesis power, which is force blast, and 2 telepathy powers, mind lock and premonition. I'm going to go into those in a little bit more detail in a second, but first of all, we'll just cover his special rules. The first special rule, and fairly obvious based on the flight base, as this guy is flying. He can traverse all sorts of terrain and just go up and down levels willy-nilly. He's fairly slow, but it does mean that he can just go wherever he wants, which is pretty cool. So he ignores terrain, moves freely between levels without restriction, and can never fall, basically. So he can still be pinned, he just can't fall. He does have another special rule called teamwork. So if you're hiring as a traditional bounty hunter, you can hire another bounty hunter as well as. He's also a soul hound, which is really cool here. This is a nice special rule. Before the battle begins, nominate an enemy fighter in the gang, and you get +1 to hit from shooting attacks on that fighter for the rest of the game from everybody in your gang, which is really, really cool. So he sort of hones in psychically on that target and makes the rest of your gang shoot better at it, which is really, really cool. I like that one a lot. So let's have a look at the weird powers now. We've got 3 weird powers. The first one is Mind Lock, which is a basic telepathy power. Nominate an enemy fighter within 18 inches that has not already activated this round. For the rest of this round, that fighter cannot activate or take part in group activations. So you get to steal the activations from other fighters, of course at the cost of your own basic action. But it's still pretty cool. If you're not a particularly scary guy here, but being able to take away someone's activation from something like a Brute or a Death Maiden or a Nachtgul, something really scary, this is really powerful. And it isn't that fun because I've played with this guy and you tend to just fly around negating other people's stuff, but it's really cool and really tactical. The other one is Premonition, so it gives you it's a continuous effect. You have to do this as a simple action, and it's a 4+ unmodifiable save, so it pretty much counts as a displacer field without any of the negatives. Very nice indeed. The other one that he comes with is the one that pushes people away within 3 inches, that pushes them D3 inches away. Pretty cool, but the main reason you're going to buy this guy or use this guy is for Mind Lock, which is a really, really interesting and cool psychic power. So this guy, I mean, he adds a lot to your gang. He adds a lot to any gang, just giving you that +1 to hit with all your shooting attacks and stuff. Really, really cool. I love the lore and the idea that this guy is a psychic tracker, psychic soul hound, I suppose he's called. Just a really, really great idea, and something very unusual and different for your games in Necromunda. I really like him. Like I said, I have used him as an outcast leader. I did find him a little bit boring because he doesn't do a lot else other than steal the activations away from other people and give your whole gang that sort of boon in terms of the +1 to hit. But he's really interesting, he's really different, and I certainly urge you to use him in your games and see what you think. I'd love to know in the comments down below what you think of this guy, Ortruum 88. But really, that's it for me. So I'll catch you in the next video. Peace out.